I am Kenrael. We first start off with the heart movements. I cast out any distortions. I call out all and any hidden presences from all hidden realms to leave now. This space is for my highest sovereignty, and all else that is not resonance with love shall leave. Okay. I'm not even going to act like I have the energy for this right now. But I wanted to share something, the truth that it is not always pretty out here, glitz and glam. Okay. I choose health now and always. If you would like a follow-up on the severity of my story, I have my testimony on I Am Still Standing. Oh yeah, things are progressively just coming more to a halt and a low point. Y'all want the truth. Okay. But in today's video, this is about shining light on this neck brace here, and me no longer carrying shame. Okay. This is my crown of alignment. Right. Ain't gonna lie. I said to myself, dang, I'm about to be Robo Girl in a second. Yeah. That's how fast life can just change. I've been so just focused. I haven't even gotten to the matters of what that GoFundMe and everything for fees and everything else. What I can say is on some of my videos, on the description box, there is a cashapp link, and everything will still be tied towards personal truths speaking. If anything is deemed is helpful for someone out there to keep going, and then of course when I finally have that up and running, everything is going towards what is the current thing going on here and now. But it is proof that I honor my spine, my voice, and my life force enough to protect them. I combat every attack, physical, digital, psychic, not with fear, right? But with healing. Every time they strike, I rise stronger, clearer, and truer to who I am. I'm not gonna lie, this thing. Woo, if possible, it may not be on every video. Depends on how I'm feeling. But right now, health matters most importantly. Okay. So I reject false ideas of embarrassment. I reject the lie that healing is weakness. I reject the gaze that tries to make my body's restoration a spectacle. I choose to be witness, because when I wear this brace, I am showing others, okay, that realignment is sacred. Okay, choose yourself. That taking care of yourself is a form of warriorship, right? This brace symbolizes the new path I walk, a path of truth-telling, protection, and devotion to Mama's will, first, foremost, and always. So let every eye that sees me sees resilience. Let every heart that hears me feel the call to rise. I am sovereign, I am healing, and I am free. Miss Wops wanted to introduce herself. Whew. This is so new for me. When you get the shaking just trying to pick up a bag. But despite it all, I still decided to show up. And each part of thy body is teaching me something new. Right? Just how long my spine has been carrying burdens. So at the same time, even through the active pain that I experience, or just the not so good feeling, I'm still aware that healing is taking place, because the body is my front line, right? That's my external suit, showing and proving that it is doing everything possible to ensure realignment. Hence why I'm so sensitive to everything. Even the way the wind blows is something serious. Okay. I did have a thought like, dang, everything's so big on me. Because typically when it comes to something going on, you may get used to being sideswept because it's not visible. But there's no missing this thing. And it's something potent, because it's a lot of us with internal scars or things going on. And when we typically speak about our pain, it goes unheard because ain't nothing wrong with you. It don't look like it from the surface until the body itself begins to spasm or express it directly. So, oh yes, this is a whole new turning point. So even though this feels very exposing and vulnerable, it is also sacred. Because let my transformation be seen in its highest light and dignity. Right? So patience and trust. Being in the space of the in-between, not quite fully healed, but definitely not who I was before. And my body is showing me that too. All this heat I be feeling that Kundalini heat. just straight fire. Like, oh. So it is not punishment. It is evidence that the old weight is leaving. Okay. All right. Something else pointed me to speaking on something today. Now we're going to tie into what did I call this thing? Let's see here. There we go. Narcissistic talking points, right? And why they may feel off, right? How do I want to introduce this? So, while at a appointment, is somebody, another individual who recently I suppose cut ties or whatnot, because I spoke truth in a conversation, and you know, with no disrespect, just straight truth. And they decided to take their leave. Whoop-de-whoop. And despite holding on or chasing validation or sorries or this and that, I let it be. Despite, you know, the empaths, or I won't really call it that I'm on that trope anymore. I just simply see things for what they are. Despite my role, you know, me wanting to help in giving ways, and sometimes you just meant for a certain, you just meant to be in a certain situation to de-escalate something, and then you keep it pushing. That's it. And all of this is always tying back to how much I am truly growing throughout it all. So yes, it's possible to outgrow people, situations, environments, and things in damn near 2 days or 24 seconds. And I moves on. Yeah, I had some recurring thoughts, like, were there some harshness involved? Nah, I trust my intuition first and foremost. And that's how I know. So, how I want to play this verse is never doubt your intuition. I heard something today in this shared space, and it's not about the individual, it's the energy. Okay, but is everyone playing a role? Yes. And this will help you to see that when you are vibrating, is it at a higher rate, or when your vibration is truly now at that stage for expansion? It's not going to do you any good looking back, right? So while sitting in this office, we're going to call this individual teapot. That's what it feels like. That's what the energy give all. You know, I don't give a F about nothing out here. You do something to me, Steve, gonna be steam there, okay? But non-aggressively, but it's gonna be steam. Have that thing whistle. Woo, okay? So, just checking. Okay, so first off, I'm just in that thing trying to hold my head up, okay? And this sure do a good job in doing that, okay? So, just while sitting in the office, and Teapot was speaking or engaged in a conversation about forgiveness with somebody else. And she stated that if she ever needs to forgive someone, she prefers to be left alone. If it came to that point, like, oh, you might as well leave me alone type thing. And if she knows she has wronged someone, she will apologize, but they don't have to accept me back into their life. Okay? So, although actually, yeah, we're gonna keep it going, right? Forgiveness is for the individual, for your own sake. So that's a declaration, right? A decree. You telling your own self, your own energy, I'm not excusing the events of what happened, right? But I refuse to let this energy keep me heavy or hold this certain weight on me, because it can affect your vibration, right? Don't got nothing to do about the buddy system and that fake antagonist thing on do thou will and oh, my sins are forgiven. That stuff, none of that is real. It keeps you shifting blame and doing who knows what. But it's for yourself, right? And your own internal growth, so you don't get stuck nowhere on this path. The end goal is well, it should be there to get up out this simulation, right? That's why I'm taking very, very, very keynotes now. So there is no holding back. And it dang sure, what did Lot's wife, whatever, there's no looking back. Hey, Miss Wops. Okay. So, that's how the convo was going. And, the energy that was being read, right, that I'm reading or discerning was, oh, so these statements were indirectly pointed towards myself, right? The emphasis in vocal intensity, I'm gonna let this pass. don't be wrong where, well, I'm sure when you sensitive to energies, no, you're not tripping that your progress in how you maneuver your work ethics, being undermined, and it's something else towards the energy. But to me, when I read the energy and can discern these things, I'm hearing the individual's true thoughts. So I can hear you, right? So I'm picking up on it. I'm like, okay, this is that, indirectly, but directly for me, And when the conversation, once the script even got to that point, right? They was vocal. They stood up like we was in like a grand play was going on, which it was. They was emphasizing it. The vocal intensity grew. It felt more like a performance than a sincere reflection. So in that moment, which is what it was, the individual teapot was emphasizing or signaling to myself, or signaling, not really, dang, what the heck? What the heck, right? But taking a stance rather than offering true reconciliation. But I didn't react, it was nothing to really grind my gears towards or on. Okay, I just observed. Always going to remain in the observer seat with clarity. I didn't shrink. I didn't, however things are being taken, it's just going to be that way until there is possible maturity in the matter. But I just don't force engagement, right? So that's how I recognized it as a narcissistic narrative. How is it like that? Because what they do is, it's like a television prompter. You got words on the screen and da 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 da. This is what I da 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 da. That's how it was being portrayed. So a way of speaking about healing without truly embodying it, right? And how I knew it was because we rode, right, in the same car afterward. Our seats was across from each other, and Teapot turned their back towards me. Not saying I was right, but come on, I got eyeballs. They turned their back towards me. It was just it is what it was. That's how I'm describing it. That's how it was. And what this was symbolizing, or reflecting, the energetic reality, right? We're energy before anything else, before the words, before all of that. So it was just showing that our energy is not a match at this current time. Those still sharing the same temporary transportation or whatever. And for myself, I'm proud of myself because I finally acknowledged, like, okay, I've outgrown these kinds of chase and pull, trigger and monitor kind of, or tiptoe and part of the eggshell kind of relationships. There's no need to bag one for clarity or pull others into a certain growth spectrum with myself. So, gratitude for the ability to not absorb what is going on and to let those reveal themselves without entanglement, right? So also it was showing literal image of parting paths, you know, which is okay. But I want to point this out. On that thing with the conversation about forgiveness, right? Although Teapot got louder and more animated, you know, it was like an animation thing going on. The performance, right? Performing the stance. It was still conditional. You know, the saying of, if I know I did something wrong, I'll just go and apologize. It sounded noble, but it can be used as a narcissistic shield, making it seem like they have moral clarity while still withholding true empathy, because a lot of people are in zones, wards, and TV lands, right? They are teaching themselves to fake emotions. Hence why it was easier for me to discern, like, okay, this is kind of a pressure point been towards myself or whatever. But it wasn't necessarily to open a bridge, but to signal, I've decided I'm not apologizing and I don't need to engage. Okay? So, yeah. I will them along on their journey. It is definitely someone probably out there like, you too deep. Yes. And we are only going to grow more and get even deeper. So for the ones that cannot swim, okay, I'm going to ring y'all out. It pays to think. With positive thoughts. Okay. So, it wasn't again just about the face behind it, right? But spirit is training me to spot when someone is broadcasting narratives versus offering embodied truth, which is very crucial if you ask me, because there's many voices or common encounters where people are turning on their TV modes rather than heart mode. Okay. So when you do a lot of heart work, you know, your discernment can become razor sharp. So you can feel when words are just empty or hollow, they just fall flat. You recognize the frequency, especially when you dealt with real transitions in the matter. So, broadcasting versus death. And I definitely know I hit the nail on the head with this one. The broadcasting energy is outward facing. It's designed to be heard, right? And land on listeners without actually engaging with them. The intention is more about shaping perception. We've been around somebody who told you one thing, but they acted completely different. I showed up today. I showed up today. That's all that matters. This thing keeps cutting off. Talking about storage. Don't make no sense. Okay. Let me go back. Or shuffle. Ain't no going back. So yes, the broadcasting is the energy that's more outward facing, right? Designed to be heard. First, I wanted to see if I can. And land on listeners without actually engaging with them. The intention is more about shaping perception. See, I am reasonable, than about genuine connection. So the depth and realness. True depth would look like pausing, softening, even showing vulnerability. The tone would be quieter, more introspective, as if speaking to the heart of the listener, not an invisible audience, per se. Oh, I kind of went in a different order, but we're going to go along. So why it feels off with the narcissist, right? When someone with narcissistic tendencies speaks about forgiveness or healing, it often carries a performance quality rather than true depth. Here are some common markers. There we go. 1. Externalizing responsibility. Okay. They speak as if the main issue is what others do or don't do. Example, with the if I need to forgive someone, just leave me alone. Okay. This subtly flips the power dynamic, putting the focus on how they want to control the situation, not on true mutual resolution. 2. Conditional pseudo accountability. Pseudo. There we go. Right? They aid disclaimers like, if I know I did something wrong, I'll just go apologize. Sounds good on the surface, right? But the energy often lacks sincerity. They are announcing what they would do rather than actually doing it. 3. Broadcasting instead of sharing. They speak loudly or more theatrically, talking to an audience instead of having a real conversation. This is why it feels like scanning TV or scanning TV shows, because they need that for some kind of reference, right? The tone is rehearsed, curated, or borrowed from cultural narratives rather than coming from the soul. So even in those topics, the focus stays on their own comfort, image. What else do I have up here? And control, right? Not on mutual healing or empathy. 5. Their words, energetic deflection. Their words often create a defensive shield rather than an opening. You leave the exchange feeling more distant or even dismissed, not closer to resolution. All right. So, yeah. Robo Girl is going to go lay down now. But it was fun and wholesome to come up here and shed some light. Because it's a lot what's out there, right? But for the most part, it be in our faces. So it's good to have that that flashlight on for certain parts. Like, what does this remind me of? Because I've seen this kind before, no matter how subtle. And that way too, it helps you reframe your dynamics with personal relationships. Okay, I get the main totem nowadays is I got this body for anything I need. This. We categorize them, right? But then we kind of lose the heart of the matter. So at least the soul individual can begin to figure out where they are in their own role and how much is given without return. Alrighty. This is Kenrael. Okay. Namaste. We closing out.